Welcome back. It's exactly 8:43 a.m. We're now going to be talking with human rights attorney, and that's you, Ziyaad Ebrahim Patel. And we're looking, the big question, of course, we're asking is, will justice finally prevail? This is with regard to South Africa's renewed fierce legal onslaught against apartheid Israel at The Hague. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum assalam, and shukran for having me on your program, and a very good morning to your viewers and listeners.
Okay, would you like to respond to that opening statement of mine? And all right, let's wait for your response and then we'll get the other questions coming your way.
Sure. So, as we all know, that there has been an important step forward in the right direction in the inaugural joint statement that was made on the 31st of January this year. And this included countries of State of Bolivia, Colombia, Republic of Cuba, Honduras, Malaysia, Namibia, Republic of Senegal, and South Africa at The Hague. And I think this was a reaffirmation of South Africa's efforts in November 2023, prior to having brought the International Court of Justice application, that a criminal complaint was made at The Hague at the International Criminal Court. As indicated previously, South Africa is a party to the Rome Statute, and we have ratified the Rome Statute in terms of domesticating the law, which is the International Criminal Court Act, and it is the law upon which we rely on in fighting the Zionists and holding Zionists accountable for crimes committed with impunity. Now, these crimes include crimes against humanity, war crimes, crimes of genocide, crimes of aggression, and so forth. And this is something that we've been working over many, many years, not only...
Hello? Okay, I lost you there. I lost you there for a minute. Just turn around or do something so that we have a more stable line, please.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Loudly and clearly. Thank you. Please carry on.
Okay, so as I've been saying, that South Africa has taken these important steps, and I think also critically to this is that there's other countries that are joining the International Criminal Court action, as well as the International Court of Justice, where South Africa brought and invoked the Genocide Convention. Now, this is important because within the situation of what's happening in Gaza and in occupied Palestine, as well as in the broader Middle East region, Israel has to be held accountable for crimes that are being perpetrated with impunity. This is critical in finding a solution to a problem that is ongoing and is being supported by the United States and European countries. And I think it is time that the global South and countries make a stand for international law, upholding international law and international human rights and justice. I think I also want to make reference to some important critical findings in this joint.
Hello? Ebrahim, Ziyaad, we've lost you there again. All right, we've been talking with Ziyaad Ebrahim Patel, human rights attorney. It seems as if we've just lost that line. So let's see if we can get him back online, because he did want to share some important facts with us this morning regarding the situation.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic Sharia and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings, from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media.
لا تقل لوحدي أو كيف السبيل.
Humanity sets the agenda.
تصنع المستحيل.
Welcome back. We've managed to reconnect with Ziyaad Ebrahim Patel. He's a human rights attorney, and we are talking about South Africa and other countries renewing their fierce legal onslaught against Israel, apartheid Israel at The Hague. Ziyaad, are you there? Can you hear me? And if the line is clear, please continue.
Yes. Okay. Apologies for that. I'm not sure why we got cut off.
No.
So as I was explaining in terms of the declaration of intent, it encompasses different facets of a multi approach by countries in holding Zionist Israel accountable. In terms of upholding UN resolution in relation to requests of the International Criminal Court to comply with obligations under the Rome Statute. I know that our office, we undertook a criminal complaint where we extended the South African Zionist Terrorism Corridor probe, and we had included not only local accused-based suspects, but also internationally based suspects within the Israeli Knesset, including the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Defense Minister at the time, Yoav Gallant. This is important because there's intent that those arrest warrants that have been issued by the International Criminal Court should be enforced by countries that are parties to the Rome Statute. And I think this is a step in the right direction, whereby these countries that have now joined this inaugural statement of the Hague group to look at that accountability for Netanyahu and Gallant. It also includes, the looking at the prevention of docking of vessels at any port within the territorial jurisdiction of countries where there may be the carrying of military aid, as well as, for instance, military fuel that would be used by the IOF or the IDF. So I think it is quite positive on the international front, but I think it's also crucial that we make reference to a disconnection between what is going on where South Africa is undertaking these very novel and honorable events in holding Israel accountable for the genocide on the international level. But we're seeing a different outcome or a different playing out of the situation when it comes on to the domestic front. And this is in relation to the National Prosecuting Authority and the way it has staggered and, the prevarications of the National Prosecuting Authority to take forward action and steps aligned with South Africa's international obligations, where South Africa is taking a forefront role at the ICC in holding Zionists accountable. Thus far, we have not seen the NPA act on steps with regard to accused that have been put into criminal complaints. And this is an issue of a disconnection. And
Absolutely.
I think what we need to be doing is creating a more hype, a more media frenzy, a more political advocacy approach, enforcing the NPA's hand, in fulfilling its constitutional mandate, because we cannot be having this disconnect where, lawfare advocacy cases are being brought to hold Zionists accountable for crimes committed with utter impunity. But we're seeing something completely different on an international scale. So why I also see this as a positive is the IPSRA Citizens Bill, or the advocacy bill that I introduced a few years ago, speaks to many of these questions, including lawfare strategies, an institutionalized boycott, divestment, and sanctions campaign, holding South African companies and multinational companies that operate in South Africa or may be involved in arms dealings with Israel, either directly or indirectly. And these components and principles in the IPSRA advocacy bill should be expanded and developed both in South Africa and within those countries that have now signed as part of the Hague group in a multifaceted approach in holding Zionists accountable.
Okay, what I find really interesting is the Irish government, what they are requesting regarding this group that is taking this matter to The Hague. They are saying that the definition of genocide be broadened so Israel could be found guilty. How do you read that, and what do you suppose they wanting regarding this term that we are using pretty loosely, and we refer to what has happened in Palestine as genocide? So, what do you suppose is Ireland's request? That's number one. And number two, despite the ceasefire, despite the ICJ case at The Hague, we Israel is still bombing now an area known as Jenin with impunity. And again, the international community is silent on this matter.
Indeed, these are very frustrating times for, of course, Palestinians who are enduring this genocide and being witnessed and live streamed across the global media space. But coming back first to the question about what Ireland is doing, I think it's about reaffirming and strengthening the genocide component, which in fact is already included. When you deal with the International Criminal Court and the Rome Statute, and South Africa certainly did make reference to it. Now, I just want to sort of make a distinction that South Africa initially brought a criminal complaint, in fact, made a state referral to the ICC in, I think, November 2023. This was prior to the ICJ application that was done in the latter part of December that year and early January when the first hearing happened. So initially it included crimes of war crimes, crimes against humanity, but the Rome Statute certainly covers and expands on the crime of genocide as well, because it is an egregious crime as well as crimes of aggression and so forth. So certainly expanding on the crime of genocide based on what has been the outcomes from the ICJ court judgments, the interim provisional orders, and of course, what we're actually seeing, that the elements of genocide in terms of the Genocide Convention being fulfilled by what Israel is doing, and that state parties have a responsibility to protect an affected, as state parties to the convention, have an interest to protect those that are being harmed in the perpetration of genocide, that genocide be included in terms of the ICC. Certainly, the issue relating to frustration and what we're seeing now is that Israel can obviously never be trusted. It's always supported by the United States. It has been supported by European countries and aided and abetted. Arms and munitions have been freely flowing between the U.S. and Israel in the perpetration of these horrendous crimes. And as long as that status quo remains, Israel is going to act with impunity because, these countries undermine, the international legal system. And I think this is what the Hague Group is attempting to do, is to break that kind of hegemony and impunity that these countries are giving to Israel, which is actually now creating a serious risk to the international legal system. So what can we do? We can continue to do what we've been doing over the many years in terms of the solidarity space, continue to work with the Palestinian cause. We know that Israel can never be trusted. This is a pause in the fighting as they go into the second phase of the hostage, exchange prisoner deal, which I believe that Palestinian prisoners are equal hostages for the years that they have been languishing in Israeli prisons, detentions without trial, torture, and you can see the conditions that these prisoners have been freed under, their physical, mental, and health well-being completely destroyed by what Israel has done whilst they've been in prisons. They violated Geneva Conventions in the forcible transfer of Palestinian prisoners to Israeli prison cells and so forth. There are numerous resolutions in that regard. So as Israel has now eased up so-called with the Trump sort of Biden deal, we've seen an escalation in the West Bank, rightly so in Jenin. There's been a crackdown. There's been a Sorry, I'm picking up an echo again. There's been a crackdown in Jenin against Hamas, against resistance fighters. They've also been putting up the Palestinian Authority, unfortunately, against the resistance. And this is unfortunately the situation with the belligerent occupation and the control that Israel has over the Palestinian Authority in what is going on. And I think we need to be speaking about solidarity, unity, and identifying who the real and true enemy is.
Ziyaad Ebrahim Patel, human rights attorney, shukran very much for those insights on this situation. And we will be watching this space very, very closely. And undoubtedly, we'll be talking with you again sometime in the near future for an update on the situation. Shukran for the amazing work that you guys are carrying out. Thank you once again, and Assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam, shukran jazeelan.
It is exactly 9 o'clock, and a reminder that this hour of News and Views is sponsored by Africa Muslims Agency. Africa Muslims Agency, a beacon of hope to communities for over 35 years in Africa and beyond. And also a reminder that we're going to take a listen to the Fired Up series with Imran Chunara. He is a personal excellence mentor. He is Hafizul Quran and is also the CEO of Africa Muslims Agency. That's going to happen sometime in this coming hour.